Hi, welcome back to another episode here on Creepy with Coffee. I'm Kim, your storyteller. Well, before we begin, like usual, if you have yet to do so, please help me like and subscribe to the channel. It would help us a lot. So tonight, we take you to a budget hotel in Thailand where a newlywed couple experience a horror they'll never forget. What seemed like a normal stay turned into a nightmare. One filled with ghostly apparitions, eerie voices, and unspeakable presence lurking inside an old wooden wardrobe. So stay till the end because this story is going to make you think twice next time when you book your hotel room. Now, let's get on to the story.
This is Creepy with Coffee.
Well, the story is told by the daughter of the person who experienced it, yeah? After getting married, my parents decided to take a short vacation in Thailand. They found a cheap hotel, checked in, and placed their luggage inside the room. My dad, feeling hungry, decided to go out to buy some food, but my mom was too exhausted from the journey and chose to rest on the bed instead. As she lay on her side, facing away from the wooden wardrobe behind her, she suddenly heard a creaking sound. The sound of an old wooden door opening. Startled, she turned around and saw that one of the wardrobe doors had swung open on its own. At first, she brushed it off, thinking it hadn't been closed properly. She got up, closed the door, and lay back down. Moments later, the same sound echoed through the room. This time it felt deliberate, like someone was inside pushing it open from within. Fear crept in. She sat up, watching the wardrobe, unsure of what to do. Mustering up her courage, she walked over and shut the door again. For a moment, all was quiet. But then, in the wardrobe's mirror, she saw something that made her blood run cold. Behind her stood a woman, completely naked, her body drenched in fresh blood. Her long tangled hair cascaded past her knees, obscuring her face, which was turned away. Terror-stricken, my mother whispered a prayer and spoke in Thai.
อย่ารบกวนฉัน
Then, suddenly, everything was quiet. And out of nowhere, a sudden knock at the hotel door interrupted the eerie silence. Relieved, she rushed to open it, thinking my father had returned. But when she swung the door open, no one was there. Peeking out into the hallway, she found it completely empty. A chilling realization set in. Something was toying with her. Trying to stay calm, she sat on a chair and began reciting Quranic verses. But then the sound of running water now echoed from the bathroom sink. She knew it was happening again. Now the water got louder and louder and louder. That's when suddenly a soft, sorrowful sobbing filled the air. A woman was crying inside the bathroom. Terrified but determined, my mother approached the door. But when she tried to open it, it wouldn't budge, locked from the inside. Yet she could hear the sobbing, the water running, and the occasional eerie gasp of breath. She kept reciting prayers, waiting desperately for my father to return. Finally, after what felt like eternity, my father finally arrived. The moment he stepped into the room, everything stopped. The water shut off, the crying ceased, and the bathroom door now unlocked. When my mother told my father everything, my father inspected the wardrobe. His discovery was chilling. because he saw inside there were a lot of bullet holes, at least 10 of them, pierced through the old wooden door. Had someone been shot to death inside? Well, that night the nightmare didn't end. Around 1 a.m., a chorus of stray dogs outside began howling, their cries echoing through the empty streets. My father, who had been sleeping near the wardrobe, stirred awake. His eyes widened in horror. The wardrobe doors, which was initially closed, now wide open. Inside, something lurked. A dark, shadowy figure seemed to be huddled inside, curled up as if it was hiding from something or someone. But as my father watched, it moved. He immediately got up, slammed the wardrobe shut, and began reciting prayers. Well, the entity didn't resist, but he knew it was still there. Now at 4 a.m., a new horror began. He was awoke to the sound of someone being beaten. A woman's muffled cries seeped from the bathroom. A sharp whip of can striking flesh made his stomach turn. Slowly he crept towards the door, pressing his ear against it. The sobbing continued, soft, desperate, and seemed to be pleading for help. Then, without warning, a cold, sinister laugh hissed directly into his ear. He jumped back, shaking my mother awake. Every light in the room was switched on as he recited more prayers, but the presence lingered. Now, without waiting, immediately they packed their bags, determined to leave. Later that morning, while walking around town, my father ran into an old friend, a local guy. They sat down for coffee, and my father mentioned the terrifying night they had spent at the hotel. The friend's reaction? Laughter. He said that place, people have been murdered there. Suicides too. Well, the hotel is cursed. You are lucky you made it out. Well, needless to say, my parents checked into a different hotel that night. Well, have you your own hotel stories to share? You know where to share it, which my email is just down below in the caption. If you like this story, remember to like and subscribe to the channel. This is Creepy with Coffee. I'm Kim, and until the next episode.